Digital cinematography. Yeah, that shit's dead. Okay, no, not really. Let me explain a bit. I don't know if you've noticed, but in the last, let's say, half decade, film photography and film cinematography has made a crazy comeback. And not in a let's wear flannel and pretend it's the 90s kind of way. This is legit. And it's made this comeback both amongst amateurs and professionals alike. Just take a look at these Oscar-nominated movies from 2025 that were shot on film. For the first time in a long time, it was more on celluloid than digital. And we're not talking indie darlings here, we're talking actual studio films. And it's a good thing for the industry, both creatively and financially. Yes, you heard that right. Film is making money moves in 2025. But hang on, I'll get right back to that. I promise. But check this out. Film is going to be the new high-end version of photography and cinematography. It's going to be like the Rolex of visuals or the Wagyu beef of storytelling. For context, unless you've been living underground for the last month or so, you'll know that Sinners is one of the most talked about movies of the year. The film was and is a cultural moment. I mean, everybody's been talking about all aspects of it, but really they've been focusing in on the way it was shot. See, the majority of the film was shot on Ultra Panavision 70, which is a large format 70mm film that was developed by Panavision. But it was also shot on IMAX 70mm. And both were so eloquently explained by Ryan Coogler in this video. This video is one of the most important things for the revival of film moving forward, and I want to get into why in a second, but it was so obviously effective. So much so that the very few, only 10 screens in the world that were showing this on actual 70mm film sold out weeks in advance. Not only that, when they announced that it was being removed from IMAX to make room for other films like Thunderbolts and Mission Impossible, audiences were clamoring so much to see it again in this format that they brought it back a couple of weeks later. It sort of reminds me of Oppenheimer. Oppenheimer had a whole lot of things going for it. It had one of the most successful filmmakers of the 21st century behind it. It had that whole Barbenheimer thing going for it. It was kind of a perfect storm for success. But one thing I noticed when I went to see Oppenheimer, and I saw it 3 or 4 times in theaters, is all of the times that I saw it on a film print, the shows were sold out, even weeks and months into its initial theatrical run. Meaning, people were going to see something that they felt was more special multiple times in this format to the point where it was selling out. So here's the thing, in 2025, film is special. Everybody and their grandmother has a digital camera in their pocket at all times. All of our TVs are digital. Film is different. Digital has become a ubiquitous part of life. More than likely, you're watching this on a digital screen and ignoring 3 other digital screens around you. Most of the images that we consume in life that aren't just, walking around outside and shit, come from digital cameras and are shown on digital technology. And after a while, once things become universal, they become boring and expected, especially for an artist. Digital technology has improved so much so that it's probably better than film on the higher end in many ways. But the barrier for entry is so low that anybody can make a beautiful image with a digital camera, and everybody is. Artists are now looking for ways to make their work feel more special, and that's incredibly important. Me being a filmmaker who has shot both on film and digital, I can tell you that the process changes when you shoot on film, and if the process changes, the outcome changes. It's not, I'll shoot this and fix it in post. It's an attention to detail that you don't have when you're shooting digitally. And I know some people are thinking that it's older people that are holding on to the past and can't let go of film that are still shooting these formats, but you're wrong. Both with cinematography and photography, you're finding that it's people that are younger that are attracting to these types of formats. It's the people that are 40 and younger, because we, the millennials, the Gen Zs, Gen Alpha, we all grew up with digital. And digital can be too perfect sometimes. And when you grow up with something being perfect, you often look for a little dirt to spice things up. The older visual artists who grew up shooting film, either with still work or in cinematography, grew up with it in all of its flaws, and they don't want to shoot it anymore. You have filmmakers like Roger Deakins who stays away from it, or photographers like Annie Leibovitz who doesn't want to do it anymore. But they grew up with that. We grew up with perfection. I know a lot of people are worried about AI taking over artists and what they're doing, but artists are different because AI can't have the mistakes and randomness of humanity. Like, AI can draw a perfect circle, but it can't draw a circle like a stressed out art student at 3 a.m. The thing about digital is it's become so perfect that we're trying to make it look imperfect. And many young people are just like, forget that, I'll just go for the imperfect from the beginning. We're attracted to the unpredictability and the flaws that come with these formats. But let's be honest, young people and artists have absolutely no say on what remains mainstream. Meaning, in the sense of filmmaking, if a studio doesn't get behind it, then it doesn't matter. But here's the thing, studios are getting behind it, and they're using it in the way that you would expect a studio to use it, as a marketing ploy. And that is the most important reason why in filmmaking and cinema, celluloid is making a huge comeback. Remember when I said analog film is going to be the high-end version of cinematography and photography? It's not because of the format or the quality, it's because of the way it's being marketed. Seeing a movie actually projected on film is an experience, and an experience that you can't get at home or on your phone. You're going to start seeing more and more studios marketing their movies, especially their big blockbusters, as shot on film. Also, if studios were smart, they would start re-releasing older movies on film. Because who wouldn't want to watch their favorite movie from 40 years ago on an actual film projector? It would just be smart marketing by the studios to do it this way. Give the audience an experience that they legit just can't get at home. Make them want to leave the house and spend their money to see something that is different from their TV screens or their phones or their tablets. Make it feel special. It kind of reminds me of when TV first came to be and studios were inventing new ways to make the movie-going experience special. That's where you get formats like Ultra Panavision 70 and widescreen and anamorphic, because they were trying to make the movie-going experience feel different from watching TV at home. If you make something feel like an experience, like something special is happening, people will go see it. Analog filmmaking has that literally built into it because we don't have film projectors at home. We can't watch these things anywhere but a theater, which automatically makes it special. It's an experience that you cannot get at home. My biggest prediction is that film will take over digital cinematography and high-end filmmaking as a whole. That doesn't mean that digital cinematography is going anywhere, because it's not. But studios will use this as a marketing tool to get butts in theaters. This video of Ryan Coogler explaining film formats is important not just for marketing purposes, but because it makes people understand what it is that they're looking at, why watching film projections or watching something shot on film is special. Because let's be honest, it is.